Alright, so I just have a short little video for Supercross Encore. I was doing some multiplayer, and I actually didn't plan on doing a video, but anytime I go into the game, even if it's just for fun, I'm not even planning on doing a video, I turn on my capture card, because a lot of times, when you're not really planning on recording something, that's when you get a really good race, or something really cool happens. So this is just one race. It's at Denver. It was a really good race, and I was using the KTM 250SX. I really wanted to get a win on the two-stroke, and I hadn't got it. I got a handful of podiums. They weren't really great races, so I didn't put them on this video because I kind of just rode around in second, or I rode around in third, or sometimes I was even farther back. There really wasn't a whole lot of battling going on, but this lobby was filled up with a lot of people that were the same speed. There was no one that was that stood out as the clear fastest or anything, so people were constantly, different people would win each race. So it was really good battling. We rode all the way to I think we went to Las Vegas. Actually, we rode the whole game. What is there, 17 tracks? The one guy that was in here wasn't actually riding. I think he just left his game open so people could play, but he wasn't actually riding or anything, which was really cool because usually I disconnect from host. Now, I didn't hit any of the big lines here. You can hit a really big line there. You can do it on the 250 two-stroke, but it's harder for me. I'm less consistent. I'm inconsistent anyways, and then with this bike, I'm even more. I think it involves, one, carrying a lot more speed, and two, kind of knowing when you need to use that clutch. Sometimes you can just feel it. It's kind of weird, but you can feel in the game when the bike's starting to drag a little bit, and then you need to give it a little clutch to get your speed back up. And so a lot of times I was just kind of going for the consistent line, and I'm the guy that I can do pretty decent laps, but I always make a bunch of mistakes. We really didn't make that many mistakes this time. The races before this, the races after, wasn't so much the case. We made more mistakes. Detroit was a really fun race, but I made a whole bunch of big mistakes that basically ruined that video. It really wouldn't have been that fun to watch that one. Maybe one lap would have been fun, but that's about it. But I was really happy that we could run consistent laps here and get that two-stroke out front for a while at least. But it was really hard because most of the time when I go into multiplayer, I'm using the 450 because it's just easier to race like that. But with this thing, it took me a few races to get the feel for it, and then to switch your lines up like this, mid-race, you get a little practice, was kind of tough for me. But we were managing at least. And the 250, it can ride with the 450s, obviously. We're doing it right now, but I think it gives up a ton of horsepower, okay? The 450 will pull it for sure. And I wouldn't say that it makes it up in handling because it slips and slides more. I think you can slip and slide because you oversteer it, I guess. Where I think it makes up the difference is just in the corners, and I wouldn't say that's necessarily the handling. I think it turns sharper. Well, I don't think it does. It definitely turns sharper and handles better in the corners, but I wouldn't say it handles better overall. So that's one place where you have a clear advantage, I think, over the 450. And sometimes it's just fun to go into multiplayer, even if you can't win the races, to just burn some laps on the two-stroke. So that's what we were doing today, and I had a lot of fun with it. We were maintaining a decent lead. It kind of hung around the 3, 4, 5 second mark. Now here at the end, he starts to close the gap, and you can never really trust that interval because there is lag, and then all of a sudden you think you have a 5-second lead, and you see his tire peeking a frame, and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to get going. So sometimes that happens. So I didn't want to slow up. I didn't want to take it easy. If we were going to crash and give it away, so be it. Because first of all, I didn't really plan on making a video on this or anything, but yeah, just in case something cool happened, I wanted to have it captured. So just one more corner here. We have a 4-second lead-ish. I think it actually is about that much after the race finishes, and we actually do get the win. So that was really cool. I was really glad that we could get it on the KTM 250, the two-stroke. That was a lot of fun. Burn a couple donuts off here. I think we do one here and then do another one. I don't know. It was just a lot of fun. It was a really good race. Denver usually makes for some really good racing. On the original game, I had a bunch of really close races. I've had a few on the Encore version too. So yeah, I like going to Denver. It's a pretty easy track. I think that's why you can get some really intense racing going on. There's a fellow KTM guy. But yeah, so that was a really short video. I hope you enjoyed it. That's kind of why I do post commentaries, because I'm never really sure when I'm actually gonna get something recorded or not. So yeah, just a really short, 5-minute video. It was a good race. It was a lot of fun. But you guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the Encore series. And until the next video, Take it easy.